The 88th chapter, Parak Pechet of Tehillim, is a difficult chapter, very, very sad chapter. It's not too long ago, was Tisha B'Av, and we see that it, in many ways, evokes very similar language. Shir Mizmor Livnei Korach. So there's also a psalm of the Korach, unlike the previous chapter about Yerushalayim, God's love Yerushalayim. This one is Al Machalat Le'anot Maskil Le'Heman HaEzrachi. So this is a maskil for Heman HaEzrachi. I can't tell you that I know who that person is, but it's Al Machalat. The Machala is a, you know, being struck with sickness. La'anot is this somebody who's struck and they're asking to be heard. Is it like the word inoi for suffering? But this is about somebody who is suffering. Adonai Elohai Yeshuati Yom Tza'akti Balayla Nagdecha. God who has delivered me. I cry out in the night before you. I cry out at night to you. Tavo lefanecha tefilati, hateaz nechal ridati. Let my prayer reach you. Take your ear, bring it close to my cry. Right? Yeah, you haven't heard me yet. Listen, God, listen more closely. Nafshi in verse 4. V'chayai l'shol higiyu nebuch. For I am full, I am sated with misfortune. I am in the brink of Sha'ol, the netherworld, the place you go down. Mythically, you can't come back up from it. I am close to death. I am full of ra'am, full of evil, of sadness, of difficulties, of misfortune. It just continues. Nechshavti im yordei vorayiti kegever ein eyal. I am numbered with those who go down to the pit. I am a helpless man. When I see this gever, I think of the third chapter of the book of Eicha. Ani hagever ra'ani shevet ra'ato, I believe, evrato, right? The gever who has experienced, who has seen, person who's seen all of the destruction that's happened, that's described by Yirmiyahu, whether it's a personal chapter that he's writing himself or however it's supposed to be understood. But this is who this person is. He's down there. He's gone down to the pit. He's on his way to Sha'ol, misfortune and suffering. He's helpless. Continuing verse 6, Bameitim chofshi kmo chalim shoflei kevar asher lo zachartamod vehema biyadcha nigzaru. I'm abandoned amongst the death like bodies lying in the grave of who you don't think of anymore, God. You don't mention them, and who are cut off from your care. And think of all the different, we have death and graves, and right down in a pit, and in Sha'ol over and over again, misfortune and death and going down, and forgotten by God. Shatani, verse 7, bevor tachtiot. You've put me in the bottom of the pit. I'm not just in the pit, I'm all the way in the bottom of the pit, in the darkest places, in the depths. Your fury is heavy upon me. You afflict me with all of your waves, your strong waves, your tsunamis, as it were. Miyudai mimeni shatani toevot lamo kalu velo etze. You make my friends, the people who yodea, the people who know me, they shun me. They distance themselves from me. I am disgusting to them. I am just an abomination to them. I am stuck in here. I'm shut in like a kalu, like a prison. I can't get out. Eini in Pasuk Yud, verse 10. Da'ava mini oni karaticha Adonai b'chol yom shetachti elecha chapai. My eyes are suffering from affliction. I call out to you each day, God, right? Every day, whether it's the entire day or each and every day. I stretch out my hands to you, right? Nesiyat kapai. I'm lifting up your hands in prayer. I'm calling to you, God. I'm begging. I'm down here and I'm looking up. I'm lifting up. Do you do wonders for the dead? Right? Did the shades, to those who are dead, rise to praise you? Sela, right? That's not something that happens, God. Are you going to do something that's wonder for the dead? Are you going to bring me back to life? Am I going to be able to praise you? Why am I here down in the pit, down with the dead bodies lying on the bottom on my way down? Right? Is one who is faithful to you, one who shows kindness to you. Are they remembered in the grave? Are they counted? You're constantly helping people, your emunah, your faith, but What about in a place of perdition? What about in a place where we are lost? Can you still remember us? Are your wonders made known in the netherworld, in the Sheol that we spoke about? It's a place of death and destruction and nothing. It's like it's all shade. It's like you're not there, God. Now, God, of course, controls everything, but it appears that you're not there. What am I'm so far away and so distant and suffering so much. It's like you can't hear me. Is your tzedakah, your wonderful deeds, your righteousness, are they seen? Are they there in the land of Nishia, in the land of oblivion? So this is a person who's suffering. This is a person who's prayed. This is a person think whatever you want to think, a time of destruction and death, and saying, is God here in Auschwitz? Ba'ani, Elecha Adonai Shivati Uvavoker Tfilati Tikad Mecca. But I cry out to you, God. Each morning my prayer greets you. You may not be listening, but my prayer is greeting you. Lama Adonai Tiznach Nafshi. Tastir Panecha Mimeni. I put my trust in you. I put my faith in you. I cry to you every day. So God, why do you Tiznach Nafshi? Why do you reject me? Why do you hide your face from me? Continuing Pasuk Tet Zayin, verse 16. Ani Vigo Vea Minoar. Nasati emecha afuna. From my youth I have suffered. I've been afflicted. This word ani, which can be poor, but also like affliction, like Yom Kippur is the day of Inui. I've been close to death. I've suffered terrors and destruction and horrors everywhere that I have turned. Alai avru charonecha biutecha simtu tani. Your fury, your anger overwhelms me. Your terror destroys me. Sabuni chamayim kolayom. They swirl me around like water all day long. I'm in the waves, but back and forth. They encircle me on every side. And we've had other places and other chapters and beautiful things where it talks about God being on all my sides, the angels all around me and circling me and protecting me. But here we have the opposite. This is the person who's drowning in the water. There's no way out in the middle of the ocean with nothing there, and the sharks are all around, and the water, the current is too vast and too strong and is sinking down. All the destruction is upon me. Hirchakta mimeni ohev barea miyudai mi machshach. You have put my friend and neighbor far from me. Continue that image, the person who's sinking, who's drowning deep in the ocean, no lifeboats, nobody to save him or her, nobody is close by. All my companions are out of sight. There is no place for hope. And so at the end, it's very difficult, very, very sad chapter, very horrific. This person who is suffering and sees nothing in hope and turns to God and asks God, why am I suffering? And we, of course, don't need to be reminded of so many events in Jewish history that felt that way, where people wondering, praying to God, and why no answers, and why no hope, and why nobody coming to the protection of God's people. And perhaps saying, nobody's close to me, God, so you have to come. There's no lifeboat here. I need a miracle. I need something to happen. It seems so far-fetched because I'm in this oblivion. I'm in this netherworld. I'm where nobody is. And it's a very, very difficult chapter. It's a chapter that ends without hope. There's no ending here like in Eicha, Shivenu Hashem Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kikeda. We just have this person who is suffering, who is in pain, who is just seems like a tragic figure who the ending is not going to be good for. And sometimes that's the way these chapters end. Sometimes they end with a good hope. Sometimes they end with turning to God, and God, you will protect me, and then I will come, as we've had many times, and I will sing your praises forever publicly. That's not the way this chapter ends. It's hard to end the week this way, going into Shabbos, to end with such a sort of message at the end of this chapter. But unfortunately for some, that's the way that life is. And we can only hope that this is not the last chapter in Tehillim. This is not the end of the story. This might be the end of this story, of this person's story, of a certain era, a story, a certain time for the Jewish people. We just hope that that is an era that's long forgotten, and one that that person, that era, those ancestors of ours may have perished and may have felt that God did not listen. And we certainly hope and we pray and we see that that's no longer who we are as a people. And we are hopefully coming out of the water, coming back onto dry land, protected by God and protected by our fellow Jew and fellow person.